Hi everyone and welcome to Darksiders 2 Deathinitive Edition, Deathinitive Difficulty Walkthrough. This is part 24, the Ivory Citadel part 1. And I'm sorry that I have to keep doing this part 1, part 2, part 3, and the reason that I do this, and the reason that I don't do like this will be part 24 and then the next one 25, even though we are still on the Citadel, on the Ivory Citadel Jesus, and part 26, and you know, it will be like 35 parts or 40 parts, and 40 parts is too fucking much for a walkthrough, even for an RPG action RPG like this one. Like if I would have done like some playthrough of Pillars of Eternity, for example, that I really wanted to do, but it just has too much fucking text, you know, and I don't find that boring myself. I love it, but I don't know how to translate that to a channel, you know, except reading the whole fucking text every time it pops up. Like, it will be too much. I don't think like, for me, I would love to do it. I will do it anyway. I will fucking read the text like every single time, and it will be a playthrough of 100 fucking parts, and it wouldn't matter because the game is fucking beautiful. It's fucking beautiful, but I just don't see how that will be entertaining for people. Like, it wouldn't. Even if I thought initially, maybe if I do like a long playthrough, like only premiering 1 hour long playthrough chapters, and only premiering them like once or twice a week, and maybe like do that, because then it wouldn't actually be saturated with Pillars of Eternity or something like that. That would be the only way that I could see it coming. But to be honest, I wouldn't know if you will be interested in that type of game. If you are, if suddenly there is a lot of people on my channel that would like to see a Pillars of Eternity walkthrough with all the fucking dungeons of the main story, and with that dungeon that has 100 floors, and you know, with everything that game has, then by all means just tell me in the comments and maybe I'll do it. But if there is enough people that would like to see it. But for me myself right now, I still have a lot of doubts about that game. And there is even an expansion coming out, and I'm waiting for the second part to come out. It's called the White March, and I'm waiting for the second part to come out to buy it as well. So maybe I'll wait for the expansion to actually do the entire game and the expansion. But I will need your feedback, guys. I will really need the feedback. So as I ramble away with Pillars, I would love to talk a long time about Pillars, because honestly it's one of the best games, one of the best RPGs that I played in the last couple of years. But yeah, so this is a lot of puzzles. The Ivory Citadel is kinda, it drags a little, so it's highly edited. It has a lot of puzzles that are like this, like annoying puzzles, so to speak. And it's actually a long chapter, and it's basically, I'm going to say like this, it's basically the Ivory Citadel and then the ending of the game. It will come really fast after the Ivory Citadel. So we are up at the door of the end of the game, and actually there is a couple of chapters coming after the Ivory Citadel that are going to be 2 bosses, like one boss and immediately after a second boss. And that second boss is really difficult, and then it's going to come the end of the game. So we're really on the brink of the ending of this beautiful walkthrough. I've really enjoyed this walkthrough. So while I'm doing puzzles and killing some corrupted angels, I heard Bethesda was gonna come out. Remember when I said that I was kinda I wanted to do something with Fallout, even though this channel never featured Fallout before. And I'm sorry for the car noises. I swear to fucking God, I'm recording this at 2 a.m. In the morning, and what do you know? You know, I still get noises, so I'm really sorry. So coming back to the topic, yeah, Bethesda announced that there's going to be a survival mode. There is already a survival mode, but it's only more difficult than the previous mode, right? But now Bethesda announced that it's going to release a new tweaked survival mode that is basically the New Vegas hardcore mode. Now, the New Vegas hardcore mode, if you didn't know about it, was about you needed to eat and drink to survive, and basically if you got radiation, I think you had to live with it, and diseases were bumped up, so if you got a disease you have to cure it in a hospital only, and stuff like that. And also Bethesda, that was New Vegas hardcore mode, which was really fun, also a lot more difficult than other difficulties. And Bethesda announced that survival is going to transform into that. So 4 or 5 months, like what was the release of Fallout? 4 or 5 months after the release of Fallout, they just occurred to them that they would like to do a hardcore mode now. Who the fuck cares now? I mean, maybe I care. Maybe I was thinking now, okay, that's something interesting now, because I could actually do something with Fallout now, because I was in the middle of not knowing if a playthrough was going to be actually interesting to do. Because the thing about Fallout for me is that it starts cool and everything is new at the beginning, and it starts really cool, but it gets old really fast and you get overpowered really fast, even on survival. But if they release a mode where you have to actually eat and drink to, you know, not die, and everything is a lot more difficult, and they even mentioned that you have like a bed that you can roll up anywhere, and you have to sleep, because if you don't sleep, this was on New Vegas too, if you don't sleep you start to get, you can even have hallucinations and stuff like that. So that's really cool. So if they actually release something like that, I could do something with Fallout in the future, definitely. But I'm going to wait to see how cool this new mode is before promising something, you know, before actually promising something. So another thing that I want to talk about as we fight more corrupted angels, and I destroy them with the Mace Maximus because this weapon is so fucking good. Remember when I said I was going to do something with chalices in Bloodborne? I wanted to do something with chalices. Where that's gonna come to the channel. It's going to be a Blood level 4 chalice run. I decided to go for the Blood level 4 because if I choose one of my many characters that I have that has like 50 vitality, you know, and can two-shot a boss fight, there's no point. Like the first and the first 2 or 3 chalices are not even that difficult if you have an over-level character. So, but with Blood level 4, immediately the first chalice is already a challenge. So I can do something really fun with the chalices without being annoying, because I will be dying in the walkthrough. I will be presenting my deaths, but not overstaying the welcome. You know, I will show you 1 or 2 deaths and then I will show you the win, something like that. So I will be going through the chalices in a more efficient manner. I want to get to really know the chalices. You know, the story chalices are always the same, so I want to get to know the chalices so I don't waste time like losing myself in the labyrinth. That can happen. And when I actually know what the fuck am I doing, and that's gonna help me with the Blood level 4 as well. I will do the chalices in Blood level 4, and all the bosses that are in the chalices in Blood level 4. That should be interesting, because there are some bosses that are even a lot there are a lot more difficult than the bosses in the main game, believe it or not. So that's gonna be really interesting. I can't promise that that's gonna come before Dark Souls 3 though. No, I can't promise that. Maybe it's gonna come after Dark Souls 3. But it's gonna come. It's something that I want to do. So, talking about Dark Souls 3 actually, I wanted to kinda, because I've seen some of the videos, latest videos of Dark Souls 3. I saw the footage that Taysin was talking about the other day. I'm gonna mention some things that could be considered spoilers. Not really spoilers because, you know, it's gameplay footage that has been released to the public, but if you are one of those guys that don't want to actually really know anything about Dark Souls 3 and want to go entirely 100% blind, then stop the video here, I guess, because I'm going to talk about them. Now, one of the videos shows the character doing dodges like Bloodborne, like fast dodges, and I think that's actually, like, if it's not the dagger art style, is it called art style? The thing is, there is health, there is a health bar, there is a stamina bar, there is the normal bar, then you can do the rolls, the normal rolls. And oh, by the way, these creatures are really fucking hard. As you can see, I almost died there. So, yeah. And there is another blue bar now that now entails all the art styles or something like that. Art attacks. It's like a special bar that you can only deplete and use while acquiring certain weapons. Like, for example, the video showed someone doing not the rolls, but doing the dodges of Bloodborne, and he had a dagger, and he's talking in Japanese, so we don't actually, you know, I don't actually understand what the fuck he's saying, but I'm pretty sure that's the art style. That's the art style of the dagger, and if not, it's the art style of a dexterity character, maybe. But I'm pretty sure it's the art style of a dagger. If that is true, then that's incredibly awesome, because that will mean that we have a lot of variety to the game. That will mean that if we use a weapon, we have a different moveset, even like a character moveset. Not even a weapon moveset, a character moveset, and we can play the game differently. And that's fucking awesome. Like, from a standpoint of replayability, that's already fucking awesome. Even if it is something that entails a dexterity character and not really the dagger itself, it is still fucking incredible. So I'm really excited for Dark Souls 3. I believe it could potentially be the best Dark Souls, or rather a lot better than Dark Souls 2, and maybe even better than 1, definitely, yeah. I don't know if it could be better than Bloodborne, because to be honest, the combat, the melee combat in Bloodborne, I think is probably the best melee combat that I've seen, almost like ever. I'm fucking dead fucking serious here. Like, almost fucking better than any Devil May Cry or any other fighting game. Better than Metal Gear Rising even. Maybe. I'm pulling the string a little farther, but it's the action combat style and the aggressiveness of Bloodborne combat style, and the fact that you have to really know the enemy's movements, and you have to rely on a parry system rather than a shield, you know, hiding behind a shield, makes Bloodborne an spectacular melee combat game. And I think that when we go back to Dark Souls 3 and we go back to shields, that's probably going to define why Bloodborne is better in the combat mechanics. Just because we can hide behind shields in Dark Souls. Oh, by the way, this is called a tornado or something like that. and you shouldn't really use it a lot, only in certain occasions, but there are two of these fucking birds that can kill me instantly, so I'm going to use this, and I think I'm going to use the Reaper even. So yeah, and I saw a boss fight, a new boss fight, and it's not the fucking tree, it's another boss fight. I think it's the first boss fight of the game, actually. I'm not gonna describe it, so I don't really give too much spoilers, but it's really cool. It's the boss fights, as far as I've seen, they're a lot different one from the other, and they look really cool. And the movements of the character are really spot on in the dodges and the rolls, and the roll is fast. It's fast again. Adaptability is gone, guys. That fucking adaptability fucking bullshit of a stat that was in Dark Souls 2. We are back with the fast rollings of Dark Souls 1. Even a little faster, it seems. I don't want to say it's faster, but it seems even a little faster. So that's great news. And I'm really excited for Dark Souls. We are 2 months away, kind of. Yeah, exactly 2 months away. I'm recording this the 14th of February, and I think it releases the 14th of April. So yeah, kind of like 2 months away. So I'm really excited. I'm really gonna cover the shit out of Dark Souls 3. I'm gonna do an initial blind playthrough where I'm going to just read all the fucking items. I'm going to try all the fucking weapons. I'm going to probably do a quality style character, so I can actually test a lot of weapons, you know. And but that could change. And I'm going to especially not upgrade the health too much. Like the first time that I play the game, I'm not going to upgrade the health too much. That's only because of one reason. I want to actually start training to get better at Dark Souls, and I know that if I do a 40 to 50 vitality points or whatever it's called now, it's just not going to work. It's not gonna cut it out, you know. It's not gonna cut it. I'm going to rely too much on hits, on getting hit and surviving anyway, and I don't want to do that. I want to already remember that I said, if you follow my walkthroughs, that I was going to make some kind of limitation for me in the first blind playthrough. Well, it's gonna be the health. I'm not going to upgrade the health too much. I'm going to upgrade a little, but not too much. Like, I'm not going to go over 10 points of health from the initial points, whatever they are. And after the first blind playthrough, I'm going to do challenge runs. I'm going to eventually do a soul level 1 run, and probably a permadeath. So this was this was not Dark Souls. This was Darksiders Part 24, guys, and I'll see you in the Ivory Citadel Part 2.